Call the meeting to order. Mr. Jarrett.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The notice requirements of the New Jersey Public Meetings Law have been satisfied by following a news release to the Asbury Park Press on December 17, 2015, stating that a regular meeting of the ToCN Township Committee will be held on January 27, 2016, 7:30 p.m. Town Hall. The notice requirements have been posted on the township website, and a copy is on file in the office of the township clerk.
Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Here.
Mayor McNown.
Here.
Mayor Barbara Romeo is absent this evening, and Mayor Orgo.
Here. Approval of minutes. Move. Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Mayor McNown.
Yes.
Mayor Orgo.
Yes. Now we have to do a presentation to Janet. No.
So where to sit over there?
Actually feels good.
That's where you start. You can be up there.
Come on up here. He was my running mate twice now. And he ditched me. I've been on for better than 30 times. This is presented to the Honorable Jared R. Engel, in appreciation and gratitude for dedicated service and commitment to the citizens and community of Cold Snake. Member of Cold Snake Township Committee from 2008 to 2015, Deputy Mayor in 2011, and Mayor in 2012 when Superstorm Sandy hit. And he did a very good job. It was presented by the Cold Snake Township Committee, January 2016.
Thank you very much. And I know that I see this almost as a formality. I've seen several ex-mayors and former mayors, I should say, and township committee that receive these. But more important than obviously this plaque are the folks that are honoring me with the plaque tonight. So you all are in good hands with these gentlemen. And I can tell you that I've never met a more honorable, noble group as these folks here tonight, sitting before you at this committee table. And you know, I do have the unique perspective of being with a group of folks whose really sole responsibility is making decisions. You know, it's either a yes vote or a no vote. And I can tell you that's when you really find the true character of an individual. And they're going to do and continue to do an outstanding job. So thank you for being a friend as well as a fellow community.
And for everybody that didn't lose power during the storm, thank Jared. He's
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Give him his name tag. Just give him a plastic piece.
I wanted to hold on to the name tag because I have to confess that I talked to Jared earlier today, and he referred to the fact that he couldn't get a flight out of Charlotte to come home. So since you're still your home, I'm going to see you soon.
Thank you. And I have the pleasure of leaving.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Next is the Mayor's Proclamation supporting 2016 National Wear Red Day for Women within the Township of Cold Snake, February 5th, 2016. Whereas disease of the heart are the nation's leading cause of death, and stroke is the fourth leading cause of death. Whereas cardiovascular disease claims the lives of nearly 420,000 American females each year, approximately 1 death per minute. Whereas each year, 52% of all deaths due to cardiovascular disease and 60% of all stroke deaths occur in females. Whereas nearly as many women die of heart disease, stroke, and other and all other cardiovascular diseases, that the next 4 leading causes of death combined, including or all cancers. Whereas February is designated as American Health Month, and February 5th will mark the 13th anniversary celebration of National Wear Red Day for Women. Whereas taking action and making the right choices relating to proper nutrition, physical activity, and other healthy lifestyle choices are essential in living a heart-healthy life. And whereas by choosing to improve heart and stroke health, American Heart Association Go Red for Women asks that across America, women go red and help save lives from heart disease and stroke. Now, therefore, I, Thomas Sorgo, Mayor of Township of Cold Neck, in recognition of the importance of the ongoing fight against heart disease and stroke, do hereby proclaim Friday, February 5th, 2016, to be the 13th anniversary National Wear Red Day for Women. In the Township of Cold Neck, and urge all citizens to show their support for women in the fight against heart disease by commemorating this day by wearing the color of red. By increasing awareness, speaking up for heart disease, and empowering women to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, we can save thousands of lives each year.
Yeah, I just filled in the thing. Point of order, Mayor, as you know, and the public may not, we have obviously with Jared's departure, we had to fill that spot. And with the permission of the rest of the committee and the mayor, I'd like to attend to that detail now by resolution if possible. The township committee had chosen an individual, and if you two agree, I would move a resolution to appoint Ed Eastman to the unexpired 1-year term of Jared's, subject to the election for the 1-year unexpired term after that. So that would run from now. I am going to read, and I apologize, Mayor, I'm going to read it because it's not something that's on the regular agenda, so this would be 3A. Authorizing the appointment of a township committee member to fill a vacancy until the general election of November 8, 2016. And so, you know, we did check on this. You would be, since it's an appointment until the next election, it's an appointment until the election of November 8 is certified as being inaccurate, and then the person who wins that election will be sworn in from November 8 through December 31st of 17. Whereas there exists a vacancy in the office of Township Committee member due to the resignation of Jared Engel effective January 4, 2016, and whereas the municipal vacancy law, NJSA 48-16-1, provides that the municipal committee of the party of the previously filled seat shall submit within 15 days 3 names for Township Committee consideration in filling the vacancies, and whereas the Coltech Township Republican Municipal County Committee submitted the names of 3 nominees on January 19, 2016, and whereas pursuant to the municipal vacancy law, the Township Committee must fill the vacancy by the appointment of a successor from the 3 nominees put forward in the same political party which had nominated the incumbent whose office had become vacant, and whereas the Township Committee had interviewed the nominees presented by the Coltech Township Republican Municipal County Committee and deliberated to fill the vacancy with a member who would best serve the residents of the Township, and whereas by a vote of the Township Committee, the committee has decided to appoint Edward Eastman to fill the position of Township Committee members until general election November 8, 2016, and the successor will be elected by the voters to fulfill the vacant unexpired term of Township Committee member ending December 31, 2017. Now therefore be resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Coltech that Edward Eastman Jr., right?
Yes.
Edward Eastman Jr. is hereby appointed to serve in the position of Township Committee member to fill the vacancy until the general election of November 8, 2016, and a successor will be elected by the voters to fulfill the vacant unexpired term of Township Committee member Jared Engel ending December 31, 2017. So with that addition, I think, Mayor, we would have to vote on that.
Move.
I would second that.
Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Mayor McNabb.
Yes.
Mayor Orgo.
Yes.
And you have somebody who's, you prefer to have swear you in, or hold the Bible, or are you flying solo tonight? Beth, okay, sure. ToCN Senator on here, man.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Go for it.
Okay, repeat after me. I
I, Bruce Eastman, Jr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all duties
perform all duties
of the office of Township Committee
of
Member,
committee,
Township of North Colesnack,
Council of Folsom,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my
so
ability.
help me God.
So
For those of you who don't know, the three names that were submitted by the Republican County Committee were obviously Mr. Eastman, Chris Short, who's here today, and Frank Rizzuto. And we hope to see you again, Chris. And I said the same thing to Frank when I spoke yesterday. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, for the point of order, and I guess we're now on number four.
All right, ordinance 2016-1, an ordinance entitled the 2016 Salary Ordinance for the Township of Colesnack Collective Bargaining Unit Employee. This is the second reading by title. Any comments? No. Moved.
Second.
And open it to the public.
Yeah.
Anybody from the public?
Oh, I'm sorry, right.
Nobody, no names to close the public motion?
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Maxell moved, and I second it.
there's limited choices here.
Yeah.
Mr. Eastman gets in the game.
Okay, Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Committeeman McNabb.
Yes.
Committeeman Eastman.
Abstain. So then nothing to order to pass the 5 cents? Yes.
Yes.
Mayor Orgo.
Yes. Ordinance 2016-2, a bond ordinance providing that various 2016 capital improvements by and in the Township of Colesnack and the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, appropriating $2,740,000, therefore including a grant from the State of New Jersey Department of Transportation in the amount of $240,000, and the authorizing the issuance of $2,398,095 in bonds for the notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof. This is the second reading. Any comments? This is the road improvements for next year.
For the record, Beth, we've dialed in Committeeman Bartolomeo,
Okay.
and I put him on speakerphone. And the reason we've done that is out of respect for the recent appointment to Committeeman Eastman, and not to put him in a precarious position, not having had an opportunity to review the bond ordinance. We've asked Mr. Bartolomeo, who's traveling for business, to call in for this particular resolution and ordinance, feeling that we still require, correct? Four. Mr. Clark, we require 4 votes of 5. There's only 4 present, right? Correct. Okay. So with that, Mr. Bartolomeo, so you know the mayor has read the ordinance by title, and you have to open up the public hearing. Mayor?
Yep. Open up for public hearing? Yes, Mr. Short.
Jeff Sauter, 41 Ann Street. I'm glad that you guys are moving forward from kicking this can down the road. But can you just inform the public, kind of do a little bit of a schedule timeline when the public could anticipate seeing, what we'll call boots on the ground, meaning roads actually being done?
Well, we can't do anything until we bid this.
I know, I understand. And when, construction will start on, I guess, the police department, which is the other big part of it. So I know there's a whole bunch of steps that still have to get, and this is really just the first step. But when do you guys anticipate boots on the ground and projects being done?
Well, let me just finish about the roads. We can't do anything until the money's in place. We can't even bid the work or send it out or anything. We know which streets we want to do. Now that we get the bond money, we're going to go to that, and we're going to start that process. It's already been started.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
spring, early summer, late spring, early summer. I mean, I think that's pretty reasonable.
Well, that's all I'm asking. I understand, Mr.
Yeah, I
Mayor,
mean,
that
that's
they're,
not- I mean, they're not all, obviously, they don't all get done at the same
Yeah.
time, but
absolutely.
the first work that you'll see will start getting done probably late spring, early summer.
I mean,
By the time the bids go out, by the time people make the bids, they're read, they're awarded. Yeah, you're probably looking about that.
I mean, the roads are just so horrendous, as you guys know, so it's just good for the public to know when they can
Yeah.
expect that to
And I'll
kind
tell
of
you,
start.
the plan for the police station is this. We opted to set aside $500,000 this year out of this bond ordinance, and hopefully do the same thing again in 17 to allocate additional funds. The concern was band-aiding the police department, and just, again, for the people that have been in there, I think most of the people here have been, band-aiding that place is not gonna help that much. So the hope is that we can put sufficient funds together by next year to have a more comprehensive project that deals with many of the issues that we believe exist in that building itself. As far as the ADA compliance, we have allocated funds for that. We are going to do that, of course, because we have to. The thought process, as you know, originally was to try to do it all together. And that was the delay that we encountered, and we just opted not to borrow so much money this year that it would have taken an awful lot more money than we were willing to borrow this year to do the police station. So we're kind of hoping to piece some funds together and then do a better project hopefully in 17.
Understand. So is it roughly, I think, about 500, $500,000 for the police?
$500,000 we've allocated.
This year.
So that'll be set aside in a separate fund. Hopefully next year we'll be able to do at least the same thing.
Yep.
And then we'll have, significant funds to be able to put toward rehabilitating that building, or perhaps more.
So the funds that are being set aside this year, are they going to be spent this year, or are you going to
No.
wait until next year until you get the other, let's say, half, and then do it all one shot?
Correct.
We
Okay.
have to be careful though. I'm sorry.
Well, that's not the intent right now in that case.
No, let's not, and one of the reasons you generally don't talk about things like this in the open session is because you don't want, anybody to have a public record that may get an unfair contract advantage if they learn what the discussion is, who's gonna bid on the project, right? That's one aspect. And the second thing is, if we can't do what we wanna do with the police station, or it's not feasible, it's possible that these funds get changed to do something else, which we can do legally. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves about what is or isn't planned
Right.
for this township committee or future township committees to be held to. So before we go too far afield, I don't want to share your information, but we don't need to get ahead of ourselves.
Well, as long as you're not going through the bid process, Mike, you're not, giving up any additional information for the public to just understand.
I don't want to interrupt them, but I really, while I'm sitting here, I do deserve a little bit of respect. And we're not friends.
I didn't indicate that we were. I just would like respect back. I wait for you to speak, and then when you speak, I can speak.
When I'm sitting here, don't call me Mike.
Okay. Don't call me Jeff. Thank you.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Yes?
The ADA, that's the American Disabilities, that money is already in the 500,000? I'm just, is that correct, or?
No.
That's a separate,
Well, until they tell us it's 280,000, we don't know yet.
you don't know the price of that yet?
We're hoping to have it, but we didn't get it yet.
Okay. And just one other question, the bid process, how many bids do you go out for? Just can you say that? I mean, I don't want to overstep.
What the statute requires? The statute requires any project over $17,500 has to be publicly bid. And there can be one bidder, there can be 100 bidders. That we have no control over. And it's the lowest qualified bidder within the meaning of the statute that you get.
If we get one bid, it has to go back out to bid twice, and then you can negotiate or whatever.
It has to go back out to bid twice if you get one?
If you only get one.
Wow.
If company A bids it once, nobody else, and we put it out to bid, and company A bids it again, then you can negotiate.
It's a protection for the public.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get, we don't get one bidder on these things.
Just out of curiosity, how do they get these bids? How do the people know that there's something to bid on?
You know,
Right.
it's published in the Brown's report, all these, the engineers send all that, the architects. send
There's a
it.
publication that the people that are gonna do the work, or whatever the case is,
Architects send this stuff out, they put it on a list, and it's,
It's on our website also.
There's 30 internet sites that pick this stuff up and sell subscriptions for people who are interested in bidding government jobs. Welcome to the.
are you
Thank
still
you.
with us?
JP, you still there?
All right, anybody else in the public? With that, I'll close the public hearing. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Committeeman McNabb.
Yes.
Committeeman Bartolomeo. Hello.
He said yes.
Yes.
Committeeman Eastman.
You know, I've read about this bond ordinance before I was seated here, and I did bond work, so when I have the ability to read bond ordinances, because I used to write them. I used to be a, municipal bond attorney, so although I would otherwise be reluctant to vote on an issue like this, this one I don't have any reluctance in voting for, and I would vote yes.
And Mayor Orgo.
Yes.
All right, with that, Committeeman Bartolomeo, I'm going to end the call now, and thank you for jumping in.
Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you.
Ordinance 2016-3, ordinance amending and revising the Chapter 26 Farmland and Open Space Committee, 26.2 membership. This is the second reading by title. Comments?
Just like, again, as a reminder for the public, we're adding 2 alternates on to farmland and open space. We got fortunate this year, we have a lot of people interested in participating. We want people that want to participate to participate. So we just added a couple alternates on.
Public hearing? Anybody from the public? Close. Motion to approve?
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Committeeman McNabb.
Yes.
Committeeman Eastman.
Abstain.
Mayor Orgo.
Yes. Ordinance 2016-4, ordinance amending and revising Chapter 28 Fire Department, 28.14 Fire Police. Comments?
This is the,
Fire Police.
this is mine, this is the one we wanted to change from, we've always done it every 1
1
year.
year, that's fine.
Statutorily, it's 5 years, so we're going to change the local ordinance to conform with the state statute.
For service to fire.
The Fire Police. Yeah. Public? Anybody have any comments? Closing the public. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Committeeman McNabb.
Yes.
Committeeman Eastman.
Abstain.
Mayor Orgo.
Yes. Resolution 2016-27, resolution authorizing an award of contracts for the professional services pursuant to NJSA 19-44A 20.5 with an estimated value that may not exceed $17,500.
May
May exceed. Comments?
This is so we can have the word.
This is, yeah, okay. Thanks. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Committeeman McNabb.
Yes.
Committeeman Eastman.
Abstain.
Mayor Orgo.
Yes. Resolution 2016-28, resolution authorizing an award of contracts for professional services pursuant to NJSA 19-44 20.5 with an estimated value less than $17,500. Comments?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Committeeman McNabb.
Yes.
Committeeman Eastman.
Abstain.
Mayor Orgo.
Yes. Resolution 2016-29, resolution authorizing formal transfer of funds for 2015 budget.
Transfer $4,550.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Committeeman McNabb.
Yes.
Committeeman Eastman.
Abstain.
Mayor Orgo.
Yes. Resolution 2016-29. Yes, consent. Motion to adopt the consent agenda. All items are finished. No? All right. Resolution 2016-30, resolution authorizing the county Monmouth Mosquito Control Division to conduct aerial mosquito controls operations within the township of Cold Snipe. Resolution 2016-31, resolution authorizing the release of maintenance guarantee planning board application 691, block 23, lot 1701 filed. Comments? Motion?
So moved.
Roll call?
Did I get a second? Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Committeeman McNabb.
Yeah, but I'm going to abstain from 2016-31.
Committeeman Eastman.
Abstain.
Mayor Margo.
Yes. Administrator.
Thank you. Monmouth County Park Systems is seeking the Township Committee's approval to stage a portion of their 40th annual Murray Half Marathon, which is scheduled for Sunday, March 6th. The course will include portions of Homedale, Willowbrook, Cross, Blair, and Longbridge roads.
They've been doing this for years, right?
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then just a quick recap of the blizzard of 2016. We did receive final certified snowfall numbers for Cold Snack for January 22nd to the 24th at 24.3 inches. Sure that's no surprise to anyone. During the period of the storm, the Cold Snack Police Department responded to 35 calls. Some of them were unrelated to the storm, but the majority were motorist assistance calls. The police also reported that the recently acquired Humvee was an enormous help in transporting barricades and equipment for road closures during the storm. Fortunately, there were no fire calls, and we only had 2 EMS calls. As for power outages, Cold Snack sustained a brief outage at Galloping Hill Road due to a downed tree limb. The power was restored within a couple of hours. There was also an outage at Cedar Drive area. JCP&L took the power offline on Sunday in order to repair a damaged utility pole. And finally, the DPW took approximately 75 calls from residents during and since the storm. Most of those were inquiries as to when their street would be plowed. We also had a couple of calls in connection with damaged mailboxes that we're dealing with. I'd also like to report, however, there were several calls, emails, as well as personal visits here to Town Hall, complimenting the Department of Public Works on their snow removal efforts and thanking our first responders for their efforts during the storm. So although nothing is ever perfect, I think from where I sit, Cold Snack has fared very well considering the severity of the storm, and the township employees and volunteers did a remarkable job. And that's all I have there.
Thank you. Vouchers?
Sure. I just want to get a comment, if you don't mind, on the administrative report on the snowstorm. I do, Mayor Orgo was, as he always is, directly involved in what's going on in Cold Snack every day, every hour. But I will tell you that it was interesting, because we did get some phone calls from folks who wondered why for a period of time there was no public works trucks on the road, and the decision was made to let the guys stand down after 30, nearly 30 straight hours of working. And it proved to be very prudent, because when he came back, the timing was right, and ultimately I think they did a much better job in this town than some of the neighboring towns that have driven around today, as I'm sure others of you have. And there's still a lot of towns that haven't cleared all their lanes to travel, and roads that go from 2 lanes to no lanes because of snowbanks, etc. Good decision there, man.
Yeah, it was, everybody did their job. The problem was at midnight on Saturday night when that snow came back, then it was relentless. I mean, it was snowing and blowing. It didn't put till 3 in the morning. And everything that was done got another 4 to 5 to 6 inches depending on where you were in town. And with the Galloping Hill, there was a crew down there. Half the crew got split up because a tree came down and they couldn't get back out. And they called. And Jerry Riccardi from Jersey Central, he's been here a few times. He called me right away. He said, "We got an outage down on Galloping Hill." I said, "I know." I said, "Because I got a call. I got to get the tree moved." The tree was gigantic. So I called Public Works and they went down there and they moved the tree out right away. And Jersey Central sent up one of the guys from Cold Snack. Bonus number 1, Pete Skelton, and he was one to slap her back in and put her back up. And we were without electric for less than 2 hours down there. And that was pretty good for during that snowstorm and everything else. Saturday morning, 11 o'clock. So, very good to all of them.
Good stuff. And I appreciate the fact you called it the snowstorm, so there's not going to be another one.
That's
awesome.
They named it.
Oh, yeah, you know, that's true, thank you. The administrator just reminded me that it would be completely unfair to not mention Mike Burke's work over the, are you texting me right now?
Yeah.
Mike is our we usually say to our kids, right? Mike is our OEM director, as many of you know, and may have seen many of, more than a couple of emails over the course of those 3 or 4 days and the days leading up to it, keeping everybody aware, knocking out the SWIFT 911 messages as well. I think it goes without saying, without that effort, it would be in a much different place, in a much different situation, and I find myself saying thank you again. Thank you.
How are the dinners? How are the dinners you picked up?
Good families. Immediate.
So, sorry, Mayor, vouchers. Vouchers total $2.96 million. Of that, $2.4 million is we're transferring taxes that were collected for the local Board of Education, the amount of $1,316,000 and change, and the regional tax collection, $1,079,000 for a total of just over $2.4 million of the $2.96 million that we're asking for approval of those vouchers. They've been reviewed, obviously, and approved by the Finance Department, and I can sign off on those. So with that, I would ask for approval.
Move.
Now, out of character, second that motion, because there's just a couple of us.
Second. Please.
Deputy Mayor Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Mayor Macnell.
Yes, except to abstain for 6 weeks.
Committeeman Eastman. Mayor Orlando.
I abstain to Pine Tree. Yes. Township Committee reports. Russell.
Yeah, I do have a couple. Couple things from the schools. First, along the lines of the storm work, we received at Town Hall an email from the superintendent of schools, Mary Jane Garibay, directed to the mayor. It reads as follows: My name is Mary Jane Garibay, and I'm the superintendent of our Colts Neck Township Schools. I wanted to extend my sincerest thanks and appreciation to our Colts Neck Police Department and Department of Public Works for working so collaboratively with the schools during our post-Jonas cleanup. Communication to and from the Colts Neck Police Department, specifically with Chief Kevin Sauter, was truly invaluable as they made decisions regarding our district's closure on Monday and our delayed opening today. Additionally, Mr. Edward Thompson, Director of the Colts Neck DPW, was responsive and willing to share town resources with our maintenance staff to ensure a safe return to school for both students and staff. On behalf of the Colts Neck Township Schools, I thank all parties involved for their assistance in ensuring the safety and well-being of our students and staff. Please know that all these efforts by all parties involved are greatly appreciated. A sincere appreciation. And secondly, from the schools, there is a vacancy on the Board of Education. It will be for the unexpired term of Kim Edelman, whose term expires in January 2017. The board anticipates interviewing qualified candidates at its March 2nd meeting, with formal appointment at their March 16th meeting. They've asked the Township Committee to communicate to the public, those people that normally attend, and hopefully by word of mouth and also through the media, of the opening. And of course, anybody that's interested should contact the Board of Education. The business administrator is Vince Marasco. If anybody needs contact information, is interested, let us know. We'll certainly help you out with that. And of course, the Colts Neck Board of Education website is useful in that regard as well. I also attended the library meeting last night. Our librarian, Stephanie, was honored at a recent event for 23 years of service in the Monmouth County Library System. Very nice. We had a kind of interesting discussion about something that who's the senior liaison?
Senior,
Senior, that's Jake.
So, just the discussion that came up kind of tangent. The ROTC folks at the high school are really good in helping out with the book sale, which is coming up on February 18th and 19th. But they're always looking for other projects, and so it was suggested, and I think we'll suggest to Committeeman Bartolomeo that they match the ROTC with the seniors and see what types of things they can do for the seniors, especially when we have a snow event like the one we had the other night. It was hard digging out if you're younger, but if you're older, much harder to dig out 2 feet of snow. So maybe we're thinking about doing that little match, and hopefully that can help out some of the folks in town. The book sale, I think I said it, I think that's it. We have COA meeting tomorrow night again. Just a quick update on COA, for those that care or should care or want to care, they should care because it's a big deal. We're at the stage right now in the litigation process where the court is referring, I believe all municipalities, but certainly this one, to mediation. And what the court wants us to do, of course, is to come to a resolution with the master on a number of units that we're willing to voluntarily accept as part of our affordable housing obligation. I've thrown this number out in the past, but the 277 number is the number that was given to us by the master. That is the number that they want us to use as a starting point, which is obviously a significant issue for us. But I want to keep the public updated, because I don't want sometime down the road when this thing kind of creeps up on everybody and you start reading it in the paper and you're surprised by what's going on. Don't be surprised. This is a big, big deal, because in order to accommodate even a fraction of that 277, there's probably going to have to be some high-density housing someplace in this town, additional high-density housing, and maybe more than one development, depending on the ultimate number. So that's kind of where we are with that. And we'll keep you updated on it. It's important. Except for the mayor. Thanks.
Well, a couple things. Tomorrow, between 4 and 6 p.m., since we have snow out there, it's so much fun. The Cold Snake Township Education Association to support local charities. They have a fundraiser tomorrow afternoon. Food and hot chocolate's going to be served.
Where's it? Let's see.
On the road farmer cafeteria. From 4 to 6 p.m.
Just hanging out there.
Yeah, I think that word in here for tonight. That's one thing. We had our wildlife meeting, our first one in quite a while. Mr. Viola is our new chairman. We're going to start a whole new, looking at the deer situation, the way they're increasing. Well, we're waiting to find out the real numbers, whether they've increased or decreased with the hunting or whatever. But we're going to go with some more ideas from the state and some other local planning and see what's going on. So just see more of that. The next meeting's what? The 22nd? Is that going to change or something?
22nd.
22nd, because there's a conflict of the law. So anybody wants to come out, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, if you're open to the public, please come.
7 o'clock, please show up. Other than that, that was all I had for the way of meetings. When we have a snow event like this, it was great the way the people stayed off the streets even though you were told to. We got to address the problem of people pushing the snow out in the streets. It is horrendous. I mean, I went down New Street the other day. You couldn't even move down that street. People just, and I know that. What do you do with all the snow? You know, you got to plan for something. They're not allowed to push the snow out in the streets. It's bad for the road department. It's bad for the contract. It's just bad for everybody. Because now you got this pile of snow. You got to go around it, drive through it, barrel through it. It is a problem. And people complain about, all the snow gets pushed around the outside on the cul-de-sacs. Well, I didn't pick to live on the cul-de-sac, but if you don't get the snow back, the water can't drain, can't go down the streets, the streets freeze. All the streets have a crown to the outside. It has to go that way. I'm sorry that some people got to dig out. Don't live next to big pine trees. With these snowstorms, that snow just drops and comes right down, and it's going to pile you up. I mean, we saw some drifts out there 5-7 feet. And against buildings, we saw them as high as 9 feet, was the way that wind was blowing. It just, that goodness, Jersey Central was on top of it, and we made it. We didn't wind up losing a lot of town with electric and everything else like that. It just, there was no leaves on the trees, and that makes a big help to doing all this. Comments from the public? Mr. Becker,
2 weeks ago, there was
you got to
another
state your name and address and everything.
Art Becker, Samara Drive, in Shrewsbury, representing Becker Hardware, corner of Artisan Way and Highway 34. 2 weeks ago, there was another accident on the corner of Artisan Way and Highway 34. A required response of 2 ambulances, MONOC, and the fire department. There's been a lot of accidents there. Can the township committee do something to try to expedite responses from New Jersey Department of Transportation to possibly get a light at that corner? I know you've worked on it in the past,
Yes.
maybe now with another accident, you could renew your efforts.
Well, we can try, but I mean,
That's all I'm
the
asking.
34 and 537, it's getting pushed back another year. So-
I mean, all I'm asking for is to try to,
Make the inquiry to the DOT.
try to crank it up with them and keep nudging them. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
And thanks for doing, having township do a nice job of snow removal. Good cooperation.
Any more? Mr. Shore.
Yes, thank you. Jeff Sauter, 41 Ann Street again. First, really quick, I almost had half the playbook right, but Ed, congratulations or welcome aboard. I know your term, Ed Eastman, I know your term kind of got shortened last go around, but it's good to have you back and you can finish out some more time for the town. The other thing is on Russ Mack now, on the COA affordable housing. I think that's great that you're keeping us informed, the public informed, and keep doing that anyway, in every way that you can, because like you said, that is a major impact on this town in so many different ways. And keeping us informed, is the best. So like you said, it doesn't creep up and everyone's kind of wondering like where that came from. So good job on that. Thank you.
Alan?
And I'm Ryan, 24 Ann Street. On the affordable housing, the last time, you had said that the town was going to recommend, or that the town number was going to be 45?
We have an expert who has come up with a number of 55.
55.
Right.
Okay. Now, the mediation is going to go in, and how long will that process take?
I don't know. I don't know. It hasn't even been scheduled. So I don't know the answer to the question.
Are you okay with the 55? I mean, I mean 45.
What is 55?
All right,
Compared to 277, it sounds really good.
We don't have a heck of a lot of choice with this thing.
Look, we'll have to see how it plays out. I mean, our argument is for a much lower number, but we'll have to see how it plays out and what we could find palatable under the circumstances and what we could reasonably accommodate, and it's going to be very fact specific, and that's why I'm doing it. As I get these little pieces of information, I'll update you. As far as litigation strategy, that I share, but we're not really there right now. So these are just general pieces of information as to what's going on. But when we know something, we'll bring it back to you. When we have some more information, when there's negotiations that are ongoing, and we come to a place where a decision needs to be made, we'll have to decide what we're going to do. I mean, there's going to be a decision at some point as to what we're going to do, whether to accept the mediator's recommendation or to not, to continue on with the process. So we'll keep you updated.
Thank you. Great job.
Anyone else? No. Close public. Resolution 2016-32, executive session. We don't plan on coming back after.
Second one.
Roll call. All in favor, so roll.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?